we're going to hop on the recording. Okay. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight's team call recording. Tonight is March 12th. It's funny. I was like gazing over at I work from home as long as it's Monday through Friday. My kid goes to school. I don't know what the actual digital date is. I know it's Tuesday. Now I know it's March 12th. So congratulations. The cruise is soon. I'm really excited. If you guys are not on the wait list for next year's Success Club cruise, you best be on it because y'all know you want to be poolside next to me in Punta Cana, right? I mean, come on. Yes, you do. You may not, but I'm saying you do. I want to think you do. And Gage says you want to be next to him too. So either you're playing with Gage or you're playing with me. Either way, you want to be in Punta Cana. Video games. He wants to go to Punta Cana to play video games. Yes. Okay. Cool. Cool, dude. Oh my God. Baby, that's next year. Okay. Anyways. KG, I'm focusing right now. It's not Hawaii. We'll talk about it afterwards. Okay. Sorry, guys. So I wanted to hop on tonight and talk to you guys about sharing your story because here's the thing. Whether you're a brand new coach or a seasoned coach, this is always such a great topic to revisit or to learn right away. Sharing your story is one of the most powerful things you can do as a coach. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's somewhat the hardest thing you can do as a coach, right? Because you have to be vulnerable. You have to be real. You have to be raw. And that's scary for a lot of people to do. And a lot of people don't share their story because they don't think that they have much of a story. Like, what if I didn't have any struggles? What if I had, an easy childhood? What if I didn't have any weight loss struggles? What if I didn't have, what if I always, what if my mom taught me at a young age to love myself? What if all these things? You always have a story. Like, no matter what your past is, no matter what your presence is, you have a story. You have something to share. And there's someone out there that can relate to no one else on this earth except for you. And that's why it's so important for us to share our stories. Now, I'm gonna share a little bit about my story, and it's perfect timing because it's Transformation Tuesday. I just did like a reintroduction post on my page, so after this, you guys can go check it out. But basically, I said, "Hey, friends, this is because here's the point of me doing a reintroduction post, because our objective every day, objective every day is to go out and make new friends, right? To add to our network, to build new relationships and all this stuff. So when someone starts following you right away, they don't know the ins and outs of you. They start following Candy and they're like, they don't really get to see who she is right away. They start following Brittany and they're like, okay, yeah, she works out and yeah, she has fun and all this stuff, but they don't know who you really are. So I think it's so important to take advantage of on Tuesdays. So take advantage of Transformation Tuesday. Share where you were before. Share where you are today. And it doesn't have to be a physical transformation. It could be a mental, emotional transformation, financial transformation. It could be any sort of transformation in your life. And the greatest transformations aren't always visible. So remember that. So this evening, right before this call, I sat with my glass of wine and I sat on my phone and I wrote out hey, this is who I am. And I said, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself to all my new friends on here. And I said a little bit about my story. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story. And the thing is, I've been a coach for 7 years now, guys. And there's still parts of my story that are brand new to where they feel like they're brand new because I haven't talked about them before. Yes, I've talked about my 130-pound weight loss. Yes, I talked about learning to love myself. Yes, I talked about walking away from corporate America 2.5 years into coaching. But there's little details in my stories that I feel could reach more people, could connect with more people. And that's why I share them. And it's funny because when you sit down and you think about your story, you could literally sit down 100 times over and write a completely different story, right? There's all these little branches and different turns and twists and stuff that you took. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about what I shared on my post. So I said, when I was growing up, I didn't put this part in there, but when I was growing up, I was always average. I was always kind of the bigger boned of the friends. And I knew that. I felt that within my soul, but it didn't really bother me because way back when cavemen walked the earth, when I was in high school, there wasn't social media. there wasn't that to be a certain size yet, you know, like, yes, there was judgy girls, and yes, there was all these things that you wanted to look like, and Kate Moss and Cindy Crawford, and yeah, you know, all those beautiful older women. But to me, like, I was fine being a size 10. I was fine being as, you know, that was fine with me. But then as I got older, I started drinking. I started eating really bad food. I lived with my dad, and my dad just said, you know, hey, the kitchen's yours. The credit card's yours. Go buy whatever you need. So I'd buy pasta-roni and rice-a-roni and all the boxed crap. I never learned how to truly fuel myself. And we know when you're younger that your metabolism is like on point, right? But if you continue to eat the same stuff that you're eating as a teenager when you're no longer a teenager, well, it catches up to you. So when I was in my 20s, my young 20s, I weighed 218 pounds. I went from like 160 at a size 10 to 218 pounds. And as I was gaining weight, I remember being 180 pounds, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the heaviest I've ever been. I need to get out of here because it's not making me feel good. At that point in time, I was over 21, and I was the girl at the bar that had the pretty face. I was the girl at the bar that no one asked to dance. All my friends got asked to dance, and I just sat there watching the purses. That is not a good feeling to have. You know, like, I wasn't there trying to meet anybody, but like being last picked or not picked at all, it wasn't fun for me. And so I think that's when my lack of self-worth really kicked in, and feeling like I wasn't good enough. And the more I focused on the fact that I didn't love myself, I wasn't taking care of myself, I lacked self-worth, I wasn't good enough, the more I ate, the less I did. I never exercised. Let's be honest. I can't even say the less I exercised because I didn't exercise. So the more weight I gained. So between the age of 21 and 25, I went from 180 pounds to 218. I was 218 when I got pregnant with my son. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was so grateful because here's another part of my story that I've never shared. When when me and Gage's dad got together, we were together for 3 months, and we got pregnant. And I ended up having a miscarriage at 4.5 months along. I knew the sex. I could have known the sex, everything. Had to have a DNC. It was the saddest moment in my life. And that point, I was like, I'm not even good enough to have a baby. Like, that was in my mind. And so a couple months later, we get pregnant again. And I remember standing in the shower. I peed on the test or stick. I was standing in the shower, and his dad he knew before I did because he was standing there outside the shower looking at the stick, and he's like, we're pregnant. I was so excited. And like, my fears of losing him was non-existent. I didn't fear that anymore. And I was like, this is my missing piece. This is what I've been missing all my life. This is a piece that's going to make me feel whole. This is going to complete me. This is going to make me feel fulfilled. And so all throughout my pregnancy, like, I put all my eggs in that basket. Like, I used that as the driving force of what was going to make me feel worthy, what was going to make me feel enough, you know? So I waited those 7-8 months of pregnancy where all I did was gain more weight. All I did was eat more crap. All I did was cry from the doctors from telling me that I was gaining weight too fast. And at the end of my pregnancy, I didn't know how much I actually weighed because I was to the point where, a little side story, I actually changed OBGYNs because the one that I was originally going to made me cry every time I walked in because she was worried about my weight. And instead of changing my lifestyle habits, I changed my doctor. Like, how I look back, and that's a big part of my story where I'm completely ashamed about. Like, a professional is telling me that I am completely unhealthy, and it's not just me anymore. But instead of taking advice or listening, because she made me cry, I went to get a different doctor. And I told my second doctor, I don't want to know how much I weigh. As long as my baby's healthy, that's fine. So up until the point of the end, I didn't know how much I weighed. But I came home, like, so I had my son, 12-hour labor. I pushed, like, I don't know how many times. I didn't even sweat. I had an epidural at 4 centimeters. My mom yelled at me. She said if her pregnancies were as easy as mine, she would have had 10 other kids. But my pregnancy was hard. My labor was easy. And then out came this beautiful boy. I've never loved something so fast and so hard in my entire life as I did the second I laid my eyes on him. I have no idea. Like, you can't even begin to explain the love that you have for your child when you have your child. It is undescribable. It is crazy. So here in my arms, I held him and I was over the moon, full of joy and love and happiness. And I just felt like everything was perfect. And then we went home and I remember walking up the steps. I had like 4 or 5 steps to get up to my house. Candy, you remember my house. I had like 4 or 5 steps to get up to my front door of my house. And then I had like 8 steps in. And I remember, yes, I just had a baby 3 days ago, but I remember being so winded and my body was in so much pain. And I was sad because I'm like, how am I, like, once my husband at the time, once he goes back to work, how am I going to be carrying an 8-pound, 14-ounce baby in a car seat up these stairs when I can barely carry myself? So the first 3 weeks, I laid on my bed. And I nursed my son and I did nothing. My mom delivered me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in bed and I nursed and I slept and I nursed. I was so depressed. I was so sad. I was ashamed. I hated looking in the mirror. Like, all I saw was ugly. And I'm not meaning that just physically. Because like I was in such a low spot in my life that I was pushing this thought of perfection or happiness or joy or abundance on one situation. You know, like how we say we're going to be happy when we lose 50 pounds. We're going to be happy when we get out of debt. We're going to be happy when we're in a relationship. We're going to be happy. That's what I was doing. And I was putting it in hands of a baby. And as I laid there in bed, I laid there and I looked at him and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I cannot live this life anymore. I'm supposed to be his role model. I don't want to be a sideline mom. I don't want to be a mom that just sits there because I can't do anything because I'm in pain and I have no energy and all this stuff. And when I was cleared to work out, I did whatever I could. Yes, at the time I did not know Beachbody, so I went to the gym. I killed myself. This is a story that a lot of you guys know, but I killed myself at the gym for 2 to 3 hours a day. I had no idea what to do. I was on the elliptical and the treadmill and the elliptical and the treadmill. I hated every second of it. Because, for one, it's cardio and I hate cardio. Still to this day, I hate cardio. Luckily, Shanti's nice to look at and he motivates the shit out of me, but I hate cardio. Secondly, that's not all that needed to change. I just couldn't change my life from hopping on a treadmill 2 to 3 hours a day for 2 years. I was mad because they didn't have a care center at the time and I didn't trust anybody with my child. So I had to leave him. I had to go when my husband at the time got home from work. So I had to spend between like 7 to 9 at the gym every night. I hated it because I was away from putting him to bed. I hated it because I had to do something that I hated doing anyways. And I was still in this negative mindset where I was still not worthy. How many miles do I have to run on this treadmill to feel worthy? How many miles on this elliptical do I have to feel self-worth? No matter how fast and how far I ran, I could never get there. Yes, I had friends, but I don't think that unless they're on the same wavelength as you, unless they've struggled or unless you actually communicate what you're struggling with, your friends don't actually tell you what you need to hear. Am I right? Like, outside of Beachbody friends, outside of coaching, outside of your challenge groups, your friends don't actually tell you what you need to hear. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe put down that double decker or that double cheeseburger or whatever. Maybe let's go make a salad with some grilled chicken or something. Oh no, you're fine. That's all. Oh no, you're fine. I broke plans with many of girlfriends because I was ashamed to walk out my door because I didn't feel good. I remember going through my closet, flinging clothes left and right, bed completely covered with clothes, And I would cancel what I was doing because I didn't feel good in any of my clothes. And my friends are like, oh no, just go buy a new sweater. Oh no, go buy leggings. Leggings feel good on anybody. That's not what I needed. But then January 2012, Beachbody came into my life. This is not all about Beachbody. Like this, I'm not like here to like an infomercial, but I want you guys to understand, and I don't think a lot of people really get the depths of it. Beachbody is a company that literally changes and saves lives, you guys. And what I mean by that is, yes, there's other multi-level marketing companies out there that talk about nutrition, that help you with nutrition or fitness. But do any of them encourage and promote personal development? Because without that big part, I have no idea where I would have been. You know, we talk about personal growth so much, and I think that's why it's been so easy for a lot of us to be able to share our struggles, because we've gone that route of learning to rebuild ourselves. You know, whether we've gone through really shitty relationships or had really bad childhoods or whatever it was, we have found a way to take action and rebuild. And, you know, like on my post tonight, I talk about like how, yes, I've lost 130 pounds, but I found my self-worth. I found my self-worth with doing the things that I needed to do, that I was encouraged to do, that I was, you know, supported on my journey doing. And now here we are, a bunch of women. And yes, we have Terry. I don't know if he's going to watch the recording, but yes, we have Terry. And there's other men in Beachbody too, but everyone's on the same train. We're all wanting to get better. We're all wanting to feel better. And the thing of it is, like, no matter where we came from, we all had something that we've struggled with. I don't care if it's not as big as you think, that like in order for you to have a struggle, you need to not love yourself, or you need to have lost 130 pounds, or you need to lose that weight, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be something great and visual. Like it could be something as finding your self-worth, of moving out of a really crappy apartment to a nicer location. Whatever it is, we've all had that struggle where it's relatable to someone. And oftentimes coaches just hit the surface. And when you just hit the surface, what I mean by that is, hey, I'm looking to lose 10 pounds. I'm doing 21-day fix. Awesome. Here, every day I'm going to show up and show you my workouts and show you my nutrition. That's being surfacial. No one's going to be able to connect with you. But when you share your story, like I just shared with you guys, when you share that connection, there's other women out there that connect with you. There's other people out there that feel your feels. You ever go, like you're scrolling social media and someone posts something like so real and so raw, and you're like, I feel that too, right? Like you're just like, I connect with this person because of what they said, because of how transparent they could be. It is so crucial and so important to be able to share your story, to be able to come out and be like, look, this is who I was. This is where I struggled. This is where I still struggle, but I show up every day, right? There's baby ears up in here. I had my son put on headphones, even though you guys heard him still talking to me, but I'm trying to tone down the colorful language. But I see this so often that coaches have a really easy time sharing their workouts, sharing their beautiful plates of nutritious food, sharing their delicious shakes, especially when it's so thick with frozen bananas, and it's my favorite. But they have a really hard time sharing their true self, their story, their struggles, their triumphs. They have a really hard time sharing because I'm not one to diagnose why, but I think it's lack of personal development, personally. But if you're lacking personal development, you fear what others are going to say. You fear that people are going to call you fake or phony. You fear that people are going to judge you. You fear that you're going to come off as, oh, look at me. I want everyone to pay attention to me. There's so many different fears that we have, right? Or we fear that our family is going to judge us. Our best friends are going to judge us. Oftentimes if you've really thought about it, oftentimes you're more afraid of what the people that actually know you in real life are going to think about you than the people that just started following you on social media. Am I right? Because I know people that are like, oh, well, I'll only do this post on Instagram, not on my Facebook page, because my grandma, my grandpa, my aunts and uncles are over there. I mean, if my aunt saw my midriff, woo-wee, like that's not going to fly, right? Like, I understand. But the thing of it is, there's so many people out there who struggle just as much as you, who struggle on the same lines as you. But unless you put yourself out there, unless you claim your voice and you allow your voice to be heard, those people are just going to stay struggling because they have no one to look up to. They have no one to connect with, and they're going to stay the same way that you once were. Now, I know that you guys became a Beachbody coach to prevent that, right? Because you were once sad or scared or upset or depressed or unhealthy in some way, shape, or form, and you wanted that to change for yourself, right? Well, you show up because you want to also pay that forward, because you want to help other women out there. You want to help other people out there not feel insecure, learn to love themselves, learn to eat better, learn to move their body, right? But how do you expect to really, truly connect with these people, to really, truly relate to them if you don't show up? And I'm telling you guys, there's some scary shit out there. There is some scary and sad and depressing stuff out there. And I'm not saying every day go on and like be woe is me every day, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just come out with your truth. Whatever your truth may be at the time, if it's something that you are not healed from, don't talk about it, because that's going to do more harm for you than good. But if it's something that you're recovering from, or something that you've dealt with, or something that you are working on right now, you can talk about it. And if, like, for example, yes, I lost 130 pounds. In 2014, I was 137 pounds. Here I am at 160 pounds. I still say I lost 130 pounds, but I also have been diagnosed with Hashimoto since then. I still struggle and gain weight when I'm doing freaking cardio. Why, Shanti, why? But I still talk about it. I still talk about the things I'm doing. I don't like, oh, well, I'm not going to share transformation photos because I've gained weight back. Oh, I'm not going to do this because of this. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to share the fact that I'm drinking wine and I ate cauliflower tots. Oh, I'm not going to share that. It's real. This is real life. This happens to everybody. I do not know one Beachbody coach, one fitness competitor, one person out there that's been on their journey that's never gained an ounce after losing, right? Has anyone on here lost over a pound in their life ever? Just a pound. I'm just asking. 1 pound. It could be more. It could be less. 1 pound. Okay. Has anyone gained a pound after losing that 1 pound? Oh my gosh. Weird. Look at that. Look at that. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Weird how that happens, because it's real life. Because it's real life. But the thing is, when we're showing up every day, we're like, look, yes, I've gained. Yes, I had a little mini, whatever you had, mimosas, crumpets, French toast. I don't know what your jam is. Me, it's Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups. I can't stay away. Those things are delicious. But when you show up and you're like, you know what? I know this is what I did, but I'm not giving up. I'm still moving forward. Today's a new day. Today's a new day. I'm giving myself grace. And you talk about it. You talk about how you're getting through your struggles. Whether you're an emotional eater or whatever it is, you can talk about it. And you can use your social media as a platform. And like I said, I know this is scary for some people. I know it is. So start where it's easy. Start on little topics that are easier for you to talk about. Because I guarantee you, the more open and transparent you are, the better connections you will make. Right? Like, you can sit there and scroll on someone's social media, and like, I'm going to use my girl Mandy, who's wearing a clown nose right now, for example. Every time I see Mandy, like, I don't even have to read her caption, even though I do read her caption, but I could feel the energy from her caption, from her photo, whether she's sad or whether she's like hustling or whether she's, like beaming with joy, whatever it is, I could feel that right away because she's showing her truth, right? You guys you can see other people. You can scroll on social media and you can be like, well, this person says they're all happy and stuff and their selfies like this. Right? Like they're trying to show up. They're not expressing their truth. Something's going on. If you're having a bad day, say why you're having a bad day. My girl Jackie the other day couldn't get her workout in the morning. Sorry for calling you out, Jackie, but she was struggling with her morning workout, right? Everything just seemed to not be going her way. But then she went and kicked ass at night, right, Jackie? Like she shared her truth. She showed up and she's like, look, this is what happened this morning, but I'm going to get to it. I'm going to make it better. And she did. So that's all we're asking. We're not asking anyone to be perfect because perfect does not exist. We're asking you to be real and raw and human because that's where you connect with other people. And when you connect with other people, that's when they want to work with you. And when they want to work with you, you help change their lives. You help change their lives. You help save their lives. So the next time you're worried about sharing a part of your story or being transparent or raw or vulnerable on social media, I want you to think, if I knew without a doubt that this could potentially change or save one person's life, would I do it? Would I share this? Because I guarantee you, all of you guys would be like, hell yes. If you knew that, I know there's a lot of like, inviting is a hard thing to do. Sharing your story is a hard thing to do. But these are areas in our business that are extremely important to do because these are the things that help other people. And when you turn the focus off of yourself, right? Like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think of me? Oh my gosh, I'm going to get rejected. Oh my gosh. And you focus on them. If I knew without a doubt that presenting this opportunity to them could help change their life, would I do it? You'd get out of your own way. Same thing with sharing your story. You would get out of your own way. So the next time you guys have something to say, know your worth and know that your voice matters and you need to share it on social media. And that it is a, what's the word I'm looking for? It is a platform where it can help someone decide if they want their life to change or not. They're going to continue watching you. They're going to continue following your story. If they build that connection with you, hopefully they build it right away. So hopefully you're sharing enough and consistently enough to where they're not waiting 2 years to hear part of your story. But they're going to continue following you and seeing what you're doing and seeing your struggles and seeing your triumphs. And even if they say no, even if they don't think whatever you're doing is right for them right now, they're going to continue seeing you shine. And they're going to want to be a part of that. They're going to want to see their life transform too. So it's so important for you to be open and real and raw and honest and vulnerable. And I know it's hard. I know it's going to be hard for you, especially if it's something that's completely new to you. Because I know when I first came onto social media, I was like, Beachbody, I didn't have an Instagram and I had like 120 friends on Facebook. I'm like, okay, all these 120 friends, there's like 80 of them are my friends and family, like are my family. And then the other people are just acquaintances or whatever and friends. But I'm like, I don't know what to share. I don't know. Granted, the first 30 days of me being a coach, I didn't really share anything about my journey. But when I started, it was really scary. It was really scary. And still there's times where I share parts of my story now that it makes me tense. It makes my palms a little sweaty, but that just means you're doing something good. That's just your body saying, you know what, you're getting ready to do something great. Like leaping for a big goal or pushing yourself through a workout or whatever it is. So even if it's scary, I want you to take a chance and I want you to believe in yourself enough that your story matters and there's other people that need to hear your story and your struggles so they can relate to you, so they can be helped by you and change their lives. Does that make sense? Okay. I really didn't mean to cry earlier, by the way. That was a fake out. The community is the best part of Beachbody. I agree, Jackie. I completely agree. Does anyone have any questions about sharing your story? Questions, comments, concerns? Who on here has done a Transformation Tuesday picture post today? Mandy? Both. Is Mandy the only one? There's 19 people on this call and only one? Okay.
I have my picture picked out and I'm going to post it afterwards.
Perfect. Okay. Well, by the end of this evening, there should be 17 others. And it doesn't matter. You could have signed up as a Beachbody coach yesterday, but there's some sort of transformation in your life that has happened. Like I said, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, somewhere in your life, something has changed. And that is important to share. It's not always visual because like Daniel, I think it was Danielle Natoni. It was a few months ago. She posted and the side-by-side photos looked roughly the same. And she said that they were 5 years apart. The girl has always had like rock hard abs. Okay, guys, but they were roughly the same body type and everything. And she's like, what you guys don't see under the transformation is the biggest transformation of my life. And she talks about getting over anxiety and depression and how that affected her life so dramatically that it paralyzed her from doing so many things. And, you know, like it was beautifully wrote. It was beautifully wrote. And she talked about like the internal transformation she also said like here on Instagram, you always show the physical transformation, but what you rarely see is the internal transformation because that's not something that you can really see. And so she put it into words and I thought it was beautiful. And I thought that, you know, that's a part of us that we don't usually share either. We're like, oh, look, before 21 Day Fix, I didn't have abs. After 21 Day Fix, now I have a little bit of abs or, you know, whatever it is. But I think getting in deeper could be more beneficial in the long run, more sustainable because we all want to feel worthy. We all want to feel like we're good enough. We all are good enough, but we just need to know the truth. I missed the question because kids. Oh, Cassie, I asked who had a transformation photo posted already.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
How many, I'm looking at the whole screen right now. How many ladies in here have been a coach for less than a month? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, keep them up. I can't look that fast. There's a lot of you on here. 3. Okay, so if you ever struggle, is this your first week of coaching? We have a lot of you.
Brittany and Jen are.
Jen?
Michelle,
okay, cool.
like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
The scariest thing ever about posting a transformation photo, especially if you decide to put your body out there for people to see, it is terrifying. It is so effing terrifying. And you sit there and you're like, you think about all of the judgmental things that could potentially be said about you. And then you finally just take a deep breath and you press post. And then your entire squad, the people who are going to support you, flood towards you and they support you. And you have this moment that just like zings inside of you and you get so excited and you're just like, I got this. I can freaking do this. And it's an incredible feeling. So if you haven't had one of those posts that you've been able to put up yet, don't worry about it. If you're scared to post that kind of stuff, don't worry about it. But I'm just saying that does happen to every single person, no matter what kind of transformation you're having. And if you're someone who struggles with making the transformation post, or maybe this is your first post, you just became a Beachbody coach. You literally jumped off a cliff and you decided to spread your wings and fly and do something incredible with your life and take a chance. That's a big freaking transformation and you deserve one hell of a pat on the back. Because what you just brought yourself into, Vicki and I grabbed onto each other because our lives fell apart together. And now she took me under her wing and I'm here. I'm helping some of her coaches like doing other things and we're kind of just like joining together. And it's been such an empowering thing for both of us and all of the ladies that we've been able to touch by working together. And I hope you guys aren't underestimating the community that we have together because it is incredible. And the support that you have waiting for you when you're scared to post those transformation photos or when you're scared to post a story. You don't have to air your skeletons. I had a lot of them. I still got a lot of them. And I keep those at bay because I respect those parts of my life. And nobody needs to know about that. you can do whatever you want. This is your business. So just remember that. But have confidence in yourself, because when you decide to open up and be who you truly are, you're going to find your people, and you're going to find the people who aren't your people. And that is a huge, important thing for being successful in your business, is because those are the people that you want to work with. People that are just like you, that are going to support you in all of your measures.
And the fact that Mandy said that, so I want, when you post your transformation post, I want you guys hashtag Unstoppable Misfits, so we can all go on Instagram and we can all love on each other's posts, because I think that's huge too. And showing that support and being supportive of each other. These boys. But yeah, Mandy's right. And if you don't have a transformation, talk about the big change in your life that you just made by becoming a coach. That's huge too. All right. Anyone else have any more questions? All right. Well, thanks for watching.